This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Ferrari at breakfast.
Steve in Hastings. Steve, what happened to you? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Can I just say it's a great show. I do listen regular.
Thank you.
Well, I'm part, and I know we've covered this subject before, but I'm part of the Contaminated blood inquiry.
Oh, my God.
And I was speaking to your colleague, and he said if we received compensation. And the first thing I want to say is that no compensation has ever been paid to any victim of the Contaminated blood inquiry.
This goes back to the 80s, doesn't it? Was it 1980s?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we get ex gratia payment. I received one ex gratia. Let me go back to really the beginning. I was born in London, which is why I listen to the show.
Right.
At 8 years old, I'd already had 2 operations in a London hospital. I was then sent in with joint pain, was diagnosed as a haemophiliac.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's still also raw to me still.
Of course it is.
Even at 48 now. I was then infected with hepatitis C, given factor 8, which I didn't need.
Right.
In 1993, they called me in and told me that I had to go in for HIV tests.
Right.
They'd already been testing me for HIV in, when I was 13, 14, so that had been sort of early 80s, late 80s, sorry.
Right.
And then I went on to interferon, my firing. They decided that was worth £20,000 to me as a one-off payment.
Goodness me.
I then went through 2 bouts of that over the next 5 years, and it destroyed me. I'm lucky I'm still married. A lot of families have been broken up by it.
I'm sure.
And then when I then continued, obviously I've been living my whole life as a haemophiliac.
Yeah.
And when I was 43, so 5, 6 years ago, they called me in and said, we're going to genetically test you, and we've now decided that you aren't a haemophiliac, you don't have a clinical bleeding disorder. But they decided in there, and that was the end of it. Obviously now I've got, liver damage. I've been into hospital last week for fibre scans and then ultrasounds.
And are you, or have you got a legal team trying to sue the medical?
No, because I've been told that because I found this out more than 3 years ago, I can't actually claim for a medical negligence case.
Right. So
because
what does that mean for you
within 3 years. Well, I do get a payment every year. I take mine quarterly, so we're paid but we've got this inquiry that,
what do you get? Do you mind my asking? What do you get each quarter?
Well, the actual sum that I've just been... It was put up by Theresa... can I say the ex-Prime Minister's name?
Of course you can't say things. Yeah, absolutely, go ahead.
In 1993 I was awarded £3,000 a year. Sorry, let me get my figures.
Just broadly, that's fine. So
broadly,
what are we at now?
Say 5 years ago I was on £3,000. Then they put it up to 18. Now Theresa May announced that the day of the public inquiry last year started, it would be £28,000.
Right.
Which seems a vast sum, but when you think...
Well, it doesn't, actually.
People say, well, that's a good living, but it isn't when you compare to what people have lost. People have been out of work for years with this...
And there's the emotional cost as well, which you can't even put a price on. Good luck to you as well, Stephen. Awful what you've been through. We will continue this conversation.